Hey guys, this video is an update basis a question I got on a previous video when I added some bubble tip anemones to my Fluval Flex Nano. I have several different types of bubble tip anemones in there, and the question was, are they going to be okay? Are they going to harm each other? Can they touch? All that type of stuff. So this is kind of the update. Going to walk you through the anemones I had in there, what I added, kind of the time frame around what I added, and how they're getting along. All right, so the start was with two rainbow bubble tip anemones. These guys are red with the green center, kind of the green underbelly. And here are the two that I initially added. These two are not from a same split. One I bought and one I pulled out of my son's tank. So they're both rainbow bubble tip anemones, but they did not come from the same mother anemone. And so I put them both in the tank. Obviously they're not touching. This was December 2022. Put them in the tank. Obviously they're not touching, but no issues. They're doing just fine, and these were the first anemones in the tank. You can see there's a tomato clown in there with them that is hosting them. He bounce around hosting them, and the new anemones that are in there, he's again bounced around hosting as well. Tomato clowns are pretty darn good when it comes to hosting. They host naturally in the wild, so they're a great addition to hosting anemones in your tank. All right, so like I said, this was December 2022. Let's look at what I've added since that time. So since December 2022, coming up in January, so these guys had been in there about 6 weeks, I added a Sunburst bubble tip anemone and a green anemone that has pink tips. So this is a picture of the Sunburst anemone that I added. It is really kind of orange and green. It does look red and green there in the picture, but there you go. As you kind of see it next to the rainbow bubble tip anemone, you can really see there is a color difference between it and the rainbow bubble tip anemone. This guy has oranges to it. There's a little bit of red in it, but it does have a much different color look to it to your eye than the standard rainbow bubble tip anemone. So this guy was added in January of 2023. We're currently the end of July 2023, and this guy was added right about the same time, within the same week. And this is the green bubble tip anemone that has pink tips. I know they look a little bit yellow there in the video, but to your eye, when you're looking in the tank, those are pink tips on it. I didn't set them next to each other. I don't know if you guys noticed, when I was filming the Sunburst initially, he was kind of off to the side, shrunken in, didn't look like he was overly happy. I had just put him in the tank. Once he opened up and acclimated, he moved himself right up next to that Sunburst anemone, and that's where he stayed. They are still next to each other today. They've moved the location a little bit, but they're still next to each other today. So fast forwarding, what has changed during the last 6 months. So one of the rainbow bubble tip anemones moved up and is right next to all these guys. I had one of my rainbow bubble tip anemones split, the Sunburst anemone split, and I added a Sherman anemone. I was just looking at other coral, and you can see the Sherman over there off to the side. It's that really baby tiny red one off to the side. I was buying other corals from someone at their house, and they had that tiny little guy there, and it was $10. So why not grab a Sherman Anemone for $10 and add it to the mix? So now I have 4 different types of anemones in there. I have the rainbow bubble tips. I have a green bubble tip. I have the Sunburst bubble tip. You can see they're all smashed up against each other there. And then I have the Sherman bubble tip. So they're all in there. They're all touching. They're all doing great. It's a nice color splash from within the tank, kind of seeing those guys blend together. And like I said, the Sunburst one did split. You can see down there the rainbow one split as well. And they moved around a little bit, and they kind of pushed right up against each other, and they are doing just fine. They've been there for several months. As you saw in January, the green and the Sunburst had already moved next to each other. It wasn't too long after that the rainbow one moved up, and that Sherman one didn't get placed there. He decided to move there on his own. So they kind of all took initiative to move up next to each other. Probably just because that's the best light area of the tank. Nice right there on the top, getting direct light. I also have all the anemones under white light for those of you that like white light and just kind of seeing the difference in their colorations. A couple notes I want to add. I do run carbon in my tank 24/7. So just want to add that in there, because if there was any type of chemical warfare on the low end that they did try to have against each other, carbon does assist with that and will help kind of absorb a little bit of that. However, the amount of carbon I run, if they were going to have chemical warfare and try to kill each other, it would not stop them. For me, the general rule is bubble tips are okay with bubble tips. I would never try to stick a carpet anemone in there. I think that would be bad, but different types of bubble tips touching each other, I've never had an issue. I always put them together, and then obviously as you can see here, they are together, they are touching, and everybody is happy and healthy. Hope you like this video. Hope you like how that tank's coming along and the color mixes of the anemones next to each other. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, check out some more of my content, and I'll get more out soon. Thanks, guys.